I was recently contacted by an investigator from a state agency who needed to obtain information from a website that was no longer published. The company had been purchased by another company, and through that process, the initial website had been pulled offline. If you went to that website URL, it was a redirect to the new company. So this investigator needed to go back in time about 2 years to try to find the information that he believed was on this website. There's two ways that we can do this. The first is through a cache search, the Google cache. You can use any browser that you want to do this. I use Brave. You can use Chrome, Firefox, Edge, whatever, but we have to do a Google search. So we have to leave the protection of DuckDuckGo, go to Google, and you can choose any website that you want here. We'll go Hershey Company. And when you see your results, you're going to see this little caret here, this little drop down arrow. If you click that, you'll get the pop-up for cached. And this takes you to the cache site. This is Google taking snapshots of websites as it crawls through to document them. And as you can see in this banner, this is as the page appeared on November 19th. Today is the 23rd. So it's about 4 days ago, which is actually a pretty long time. Google is pretty good at this. Usually they're hitting sites every 24 to 48 hours, but you never know what you're going to find. So go ahead and do a cache search. This is good if somebody publishes something to a website or a blog and then they take it down. Maybe it was controversial or they just didn't like what they said, or they posted something inappropriate and they changed it. You can go back a couple days and try to find that content because they can't change the Google cache. So again, that's a quick and easy search. The next way we can do this is through the Wayback Machine of the Internet Archive. But the thing about that is we have to actually know what the URL was of the time. Like I said, in this case, this was a security company that had been purchased by another security company. So we need to know what that original website URL was. And the way I like to find those is usually a Google search will do it, but there's a company called Crunchbase that does a pretty good job of documenting all of these businesses. And if you search up here, we're going to search for a company called Wombat Security, because I know that about 2 years ago, Wombat was purchased by another company, actually Proofpoint, and their website is no longer online, or Wombat Security is no longer online. So this is going to work with the same theme of how I helped this investigator. So here is the original website. We're going to copy that, copy link address. Now we're going to go to the Internet Archive Wayback Machine. The Internet Archive and the Wayback Machine, they do the same thing that Google does. They take snapshots of websites and then they save them. However, where Google only lets you see the last one, the Internet Archive, the Wayback Machine, lets you see every one that they've ever done. And I'll show you an example of this. Put it in Wombat Security, browse history. And sure enough, it takes us the whole way back to 2008. Now it'll show you up here, I know that Wombat was purchased sometime in 2018, so it'll show you these, but that's just because the URL is still active, but it has a redirect to Proofpoint. So if we go to, if we paste that in here, it doesn't take you to the Wombat website, it takes us to the Proofpoint website. So we're gonna go back here. We're going to pick, I know, like I said, I know it was in 2018, so we'll pick 2017. We'll go through here. Now, these bubbles, the larger the bubble, that means the more times it was browsed on that particular day. So this June 3rd, it looks like it was browsed quite a few times, so we'll pick 2059 on June 3rd, 2017. And it has to go back into the deep recesses of its server to pull this information out. So we'll see what we find. Here we go. Sometimes it'll have all of the images, sometimes it won't. I think that sometimes they don't save heavy images just for space saving reasons, but this looks like it has everything, just as this site looked like on that date. As you can see, they're advertising a conference in 2017. Now, in this particular case I was helping this investigator with, he needed to find out who the leadership of the company was at that time. So we'll just see if we can find that here. We're going to go about our company. And here it is. It looks like they have it. Management team, that's exactly what he was looking for, who the management team was. And here they are. So if you needed to know who the management team of Wombat Security was in 2017, you can't find that through their current website because it's not online. But we just went back in time about 3 years and found this information. So again, if you need to go back in time on the internet, Google Cache Search or the Wayback Machine of the Internet Archive.